If you're anything like me, you probably love Conan's Nemedian DLC. It's easily one of their best building sets, but I don't think it's unreasonable to say that it is missing some unique features. Well, perhaps not anymore with today's mod showcase, we're checking out a new mod that extends the Nemedian DLC set. So without further ado, let's get into it. The Nemedian building set expansion mod was released on the 30th of July 2024, created by a dev named T-Ara. It comes in at a fairly modest 190 megabytes, requires ownership of the Nemedian DLC, and promises to add new building pieces in keeping with Nemedian's DLC style. In terms of the meat of this mod and what's actually in it, this mod adds all of its pieces in a separate submenu in the building hammer titled Nemedian BKE, which keeps things nicely separated. Now I want to show you everything this mod has, but there's a fair few pieces, so we're going to have to do it pretty rapid fire. Let's go. Plain walls, regular and inverted sloping sides, doors and plenty of windows. The windows also have variants with and without hinges, 7 stained glass windows, 2 large window pieces, a square bottom and a rounded top, 2 secret door frames with secret doors, a 1x2 gate frame and a 2x2 gatehouse, single tile semicircular ceilings, rounded walls with and without windows to match those ceilings, 3 curved wall crowns, 3 crenellations with variants for corners, a block for crenellation corners, a wood gate and a portcullis for the gatehouse, these glass windows for their respective shapes, and these frames that hang from the window hinges. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. There's some very unique things in here, some that we've seen in other mods and even stuff from the bazaar, but other things like stained glass windows or the single tile curved walls and ceiling pieces are pretty impressive. So it's all well and good adding lots of building pieces, but probably the most important question is this: is it good to build with? Honestly, it's pretty good. There are a couple of small issues with build order, but they're not too obstructive. Unlike some other build sets where the order you have to place things in is basically a mystery, the odd occasion where the build order gets in the way here is pretty straightforward, and you can almost immediately identify that piece A needs to be placed before piece B, for example. There are a couple of minor bugs like pieces not replacing each other properly or the window shutters being a little finicky, and sometimes stuff just doesn't want to be placed in certain areas, but much like the build order issues, they are all quite easy to resolve. Aside from that, it's plain sailing really. It works very well and the pieces from the DLC and the mod mesh quite well together. I will say, on close inspection, the texture of the modded wall is a bit sharper compared to the regular DLC one, and is slightly more contrasty too. The difference is very noticeable on low settings, but on high settings you only really see it if you're looking for it, and even then sometimes it's quite easy to miss. Aside from those small issues we mentioned earlier, the build set is very easy to use. The aesthetics of these new pieces really bring something impressive to the Nemedian set. The crenellations and rounded segments are probably the standouts. They work really well and remind me of the black ice castle pieces from the Glass Constructions mod. As good as Nemedian is, it can often end up a bit boxy, but the pieces added by this mod just create a ton of shape and variation in any Nemedian build, and the style you end up with really improves this already great DLC. That being said, as this is a new mod, it is of course far from finished, and seeing as the developer is open to suggestions, I thought I'd make a little wish list of the stuff I'd like to see. Half-height walls, rounded roof pieces to sit atop the round segments, and round walls like those in Terranian or Dungeon would also be rather nice, especially with functional rounded foundations. The set is currently missing a Nemedian wall cap to match the sloping sides, and I'd also really like to get some foundations and ceilings with the stone texture from the top of the gatehouse. They add something quite nice to this set, whereas sometimes the wooden ceilings aren't exactly appropriate. Finally, vaulted ceilings with that same stone texture would also work really well, I think, similar to the arena vaulted ceilings. Oh, and some interior fences too, similar to the Yamatai extension. Nemedian really misses out on those. Overall, is this mod good? Honestly, I'm quite impressed with it. T-Ara seems to be fairly new to the modding scene, but this is a really good first entry and adds a lot of value to what is already arguably one of Conan's best building sets in my opinion. If you're on PC, you can grab this on the Steam Workshop, and I do really encourage you to give it a go. It's already a really nicely made mod, and I think with more additions it will only improve. And there we have it, a mod showcase for the Nemedian building set expansion mod by T-Ara, a really succinct yet impressive mod that elevates an already lovely DLC set. Thank you for watching, and of course a massive thanks to our wonderful esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more Conan Exiles content. Take care, and I'll see you soon.